Hello and welcome to Grazo's Minister Friday live stream. It's Konstantin here, being a solo today. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Hope you're having a great time. Hope you will have a great time over this weekend. If you're UK based, we have this thing called Bank Holiday and it's on Monday, 6th of May. Yes, it is. So we are going to be extra day off. I want to know what are your plans for this weekend. Are you planning some photography? Are you planning to do interesting things, travel? Tell me all in the comments below. If you're based in the United States, you may have a holiday, you may not. I have no idea, but thanks for joining us. Anyway, Coffee Fund is open. I've been so busy today. I actually didn't have time to have lunch, so I'm gonna actually have my coffee now. I'll probably gonna be hungry throughout, but you know what? Hopefully, I'll get my food straight after this. How's the sound? How's everything? Let me know. Do I sound okay? Yeah, you know, remember 3 o'clock, we will start to buffering. So let's say hello to everyone. Hello, John. Hello, Rick. Hello, David. Hello, Tony. Yeah, Tony, that's too old fashioned for me. I had to Google that expression. So, you know, but yeah, those are things, you know, sometimes you gotta learn things, you know, every time I'm in the United States, you know, last time I got pulled out for speeding. I drove, I think, 40 instead of 30 in a small town, and the sheriff stopped me. You know, I was like, someone's flashing behind me. I was like, okay, well, I'll keep going. Then he put the siren on, so I stopped by, and he said, "Where are you from?" I was like, "Well," giving him my English driving license. He was like, he said something. You know, I had no idea. You know, I was born in England, but, you know, I bowed, I smiled, and he let me off without any penalty. So that was good. That was good. So sometimes I read things and I don't understand them, so I had to Google them. But yeah, some things are old-fashioned the way they are. Hello, Colin. Hello, Nick. Hello, Dave, Ian, Brian, Wayne. Did I miss anyone? Rick is here. William, Dave 1013, Cheetah Kid. Okay, and Vince. Thank you very much, Vince. I appreciate it. Always appreciate good coffee. As we discussed last week, no AI coffee for us. So, speaking of which, I wanted to check with you. So, what kind of topics would you like me to cover on the live stream? So I do try to get guests, obviously. You know, we're going to have Gray once a month. So we have quite a few live streams planned with him. We had Mike Eleftheriadis. We talked about panoramic VR last week. I know that for a lot of you, it was a topic that was very niche to cover. We are planning to do infrared photography with him as well. I hope that this one will probably be more interesting for you as photographers. But, you know, if you look at VR photography online, you don't really see anything. But if you have any topics you would like to suggest us to cover, that would be good. I like to do my solo streams as well because I do like to talk to you, because that way I can actually see through the chat, answer your questions if you have any. And yeah, maybe if there's an advice I can give you, then I can share that as well. So let me know in the comments. Yeah, do you want me to do more guests? Do you want me to do more solos? I don't want to do solos all the time, obviously, as we discussed, because it gets stale. But if I have a guest every second week, I think it'll give us enough time for me to do a solo one where I can actually catch up with you on what's going on. Okay, so let's see. So we've got a review of Nikon Z6 III would be nice. It's in the works. As soon as the cameras come out, it's definitely in production stage at the moment. At the moment, I wrote a document and it has a title and nothing else. That's called Nikon Z6 III review. So as soon as the camera announced and we know what actually it is and we get our unit, we'll start to do that as well. I'm charging so fast. I need a coffee actually maybe to go even faster. Let's see how it goes. Dave saying, I remember shooting a roll of infrared film, black and white, back in the day, and he had IR 72 filter. That's a cool thing. I haven't done black and infrared film photography. I haven't done infrared digital photography as well. So not my thing, never been interested. But Mike Eleftheriadis, he does a lot of infrared digital photography. So I think that would be the topic that we would cover, not film. But do you want me to do another film live stream? I know that some of you just, oh, film is bad and everything, but you know, I always enjoy doing those. Do you want me to do another one, DSLR scanning, or let's say film scanning live stream that we do every week? Let me know if you want me to talk about, let's say, film stocks and things like this, old cameras, let me know in the comments below. Now, I have this interesting thing for you to show you, actually. A couple of things that landed on my desk this week. So this is Nikon ZF. And this, my friends, are... well, this is the Japanese grip for Nikon ZF. So I finally managed to get one. So I know that a lot of you tried helping with that, and it's been out of stock for months in Japan. So I finally managed to get one. And I want to show you what it looks like on Nikon ZF. And to be honest with you, I'm not that particularly excited about it. Now I've tried it, so you know it's okay. It's from point of usability and comfortability. This is good. It's not amazing. The small rig battery grip that I also have, and they came with the camera when I bought it, is a lot more comfortable. It doesn't look as good, but from the grip point of view, it's quite nice because it's a little bit deeper for fingers here, so on the small rig grip. On Nikon one, well, it makes it look good. You got a really nice thick plate at the bottom, and again, some of you may like it, some of you may not. I would prefer slightly slimmer profile, but what it also adds at the back is this little area here where it's like a thumb rest. So it's a little bit better. I would prefer them to kind of let it kind of go a little bit further out, because at the end of the day, it's still kind of, you still have a pressure on your finger, so it's not holding 100%. So I would say something like if you tried rangefinders or if you try like Fuji X100V, they normally do this hot shoe thumb rest, and those generally are a little bit better. I know there's a hot shoe rest for Nikon ZF. I haven't tried it myself, but it doesn't look comfortable on the pictures. Maybe I'm wrong. So, but yeah, Nikon ZF, the most expensive grip, I think. It's good. I haven't used it that much. I'm going to use it over the weekend, see how it feels. But in terms of just comfortability, small rig for me personally is better. But for the looks, definitely Nikon ZF grip, the one that's from Japan, I think it's probably the best looking one. Also, in terms of build quality, it does look a little bit better. But again, they're all metal, so you know they're all well manufactured. You know, so that's the thing. Obviously, some people may have the wooden grip ones that are available as well. There was an article on Nikon Rumors it was a guest post, someone reviewing those grips on their blog. So have a look at that. It probably was from a couple of weeks ago, but yeah, that's one thing to try. So yeah, I finally got it. I'm gonna keep using it. At the moment, I'm not impressed from just usability point of view. So it's just the grip itself is a little bit more shallow. So I don't have massive hands, but I still feel like it could be a little bit deeper personally. Speaking of Nikon ZF, it's got a firmware up. I think it's 1.2. It's got this encryption thing, which is legislation in Europe, but it's also got additional features. So if you haven't updated yours, definitely do that. Let's have a look at what people say in the chat. Where's the Nikon Z6 III? We don't know, Thomas. Good question. I personally think it should come out any minute now, but we haven't got any heads up. So that's the thing. I personally think that they're missing a massive opportunity here, and I personally think that should be out, you know, any month. So I think by June the latest, but you know, late, like let's say end of June. But I hope it's gonna happen in May. So you never know. Maybe they'll surprise us. At this point, because we kind of been waiting it since September last year or so. I want them to impress me. You know, I definitely want them to blow me away with the feature set, because if we just get in the Nikon ZF rebadge with a modern form factor so late, from my personal point, I wouldn't be happy about this. So I feel like they need to definitely show us something that we haven't seen before, you know, wow us with all the specifications, yada, yada, yada. Cheetah Kid says you could make a 3D printing grip. Yes, you can. You can buy third-party ones. You can download something from Thingiverse and things like this. I don't know if there's one particularly for Nikon ZF. 3D printing for this type of things is not great. That's my opinion, because plastic is not that great, especially if you use, was it PTA? I think that's what it is. I forgot all those. It's fairly soft plastic. So if you print plastic, you need to get a very hard plastic for this. So again, if you order those things online for someone to print for you, you need to specify the plastic. Again, I would prefer a metal manufactured grip any day. It just looks nicer. However, for my Pentax 6.7, I actually 3D printed the grip on the side, and it came out really, really well. You still need to buy some bolts and nuts to connect it all together. It looks fine. It holds the camera pretty well. I would say the traditional Pentax 6.7 grip, of course, the proper wooden stuff makes it a lot nicer, but you can also order some custom-made Pentax 6.7 grips online. They look beautiful, but you look at about £100 or so. All right. Dave Walk says, have had my 135 planner for almost a month now. Absolutely amazing, like no other lens I've used. Once on the camera, I don't want to take it off, and such a deal at the photo show. Yeah, it's perfect lens. I agree. 135 is fantastic. On my list, I'm a bit broke at the moment, but it is definitely one to come. Thomas is asking, you think Nikon will bring out a set of vintage autofocus lenses that suit Nikon ZF, like Voigtlander, but with autofocus? I think they should do it personally, but I will be surprised if they do it. Pleasantly surprised, let's say this. But I feel like someone needs to step in and do this. So maybe Viltrox should do that, you know, because I've just got this thing as well landed on my desk, which is Viltrox newly released 56 1.7 lens. It's a DX lens, so gives you something close to 85mm focal distance on your Nikon DX camera, and they have full autofocus. If you see our 20mm review on the full frame 20mm 2.8, they can make it small, light, metal mount, and autofocus. So if Viltrox releases some good vintage looking lenses, beautifully designed, I don't know, in terms of like, one of the things they probably would need to do, because the manual focus lenses, you know, it's when you focus manual focus lenses, they're specifically designed to focus manually, and they're also all metal. So I personally like, the problem is obviously with autofocus, you can't really use kind of metal parts inside because it may slow down the autofocus. So I guess there's some design challenges. So to get the looks right as well as autofocus part right, maybe have an internal focusing, you never know. But I personally think that either, let's say, TTR, Yonggi, or Viltrox of all places, if they can kind of get into this game because they already have autofocus lenses out for Nikon Z system, that would be absolutely amazing. So, you know, if Nikon surprises, oof, you know, that's just icing on the cake. I think I'm going to be the one who will be pre-ordering them. But yes, we have 28mm. This is retro style 28 on Nikon ZF. We've got 40mm. So, you know, I think, yeah, we just need something in 75, 85mm 2.8. Let's release 85 2.8. That would be nice. And then release maybe 18mm or something like this, or you know, 2.8, you know, just, or 20mm, make it light. And I think we definitely will have quite a beautiful system on our hands here. All right, let's see who's next. Michael Brown suggests, Con, you could try Koffee with Creator, see Theta drama type streaming photographers using Nikon. That would be amazing. That would be amazing, Michael. I am limited on how much sources I have available to me and how much time I have available to me. So I am trying to do my best to get the people in, but YouTube is probably 10% of what I do for Grays of Westminster here. So I am not the person that just deals with YouTube, if you see what I mean. So sometimes it can be a little bit challenging, but I do appreciate your feedback. I'm gonna take it on board. If I can fit someone in, I definitely will. Cheat Kids says he loves his wooden grip for ZFC. Fantastic, yeah. Those are beautifully made. They're similar ones for Nikon ZF as well. Dominic Lester suggests us to give us a like as well. That would be really appreciated. If you like to hang out here and talk to me, I really appreciate the like, because it gets more people in. You know, hopefully some of them are Nikon users. Hopefully we can talk some photography with you. This live stream, where it's solo, it's all about talking to you. So I really appreciate, if you like that talk, give me a like. Even if you give us the dislike, it also helps the channel. So you know what? Whatever you feel like, you know, today is a free roam for everyone. Okay. David Mascar says zone focus 50mm and wider the fastest. Zone focus in 50mm lens is quite. It's not an easy treat, I would say, you know. But anything wider than this, yeah. I zone focus my 35mm. I zone focus my 28mm, mostly for street photography. You know, that would be useful. 50 is a bit, yeah, it's a bit tricky. But again, you know, stick it to f8, 500 of a second, as long as you have plenty of light, which is in the United States, you guys got plenty of light, which is incredible for street photography. Here in England, we are struggling at 500 of a second f8. Sometimes it's difficult, you know, to get this at 800 ISO on film. Of course, if you shoot digitally, you know, you don't have any issues with that. But yeah, I am looking forward to that Leica mount Voigtlander 50mm f2.2, which has been kind of shown at CP Plus back in February, and they haven't announced the release yet, but I think it's probably going to be either June, July this year. It's small and light, and that's the lens I would probably be interested to use zone focusing on. I really like that setup with a very, very small primes on a rangefinder, and that's why I really want very small primes for Nikon ZF as well. In the meantime, I do use my Leica mount Voigtlander lenses on my Nikon ZF, and they work pretty well. You know, so again, if you need ultimate image quality, you probably want to stick with the Nikon native glass, but the Voigtlander lenses, Leica mounted, perform fairly well. There's a reason why they don't perform the same as on Leica sensors. It's to do with the thickness of the glass in front of the sensor on any other brands but Leica, so that adds a few limitations there. So, but overall, the image quality is pretty good in my opinion. All right, so PLA, that's the right term. Yeah, PLA is soft plastic, that's the thing. On a hot day, it may even start to melt a little bit. So you definitely want to go slightly harder plastic, that's the thing, you know. So that's the thing. Or maybe if you want to splash out, there's a carbon-based filament you can buy as well. So I do like my 3D printer. I have fun with it. I like to get into the designing of things. That's what I've learned in the past year. I am looking potentially to start creating certain things, let's say old missing parts for film cameras and things like this. So with the 3D prints and with additive manufacturing becomes cheaper and cheaper, there's certain things you can do nowadays. You know, there's in terms of home 3D printing, we've seen improvements. Basically, we see advances basically every year, and it just keeps going. Those things becoming cheaper and more affordable, which is incredible. So if you like to tinker with things and design and create things, I definitely recommend you to look into 3D printing. It's fun. Emra says, Nikon think new APS-C sends camera instead of D500. That's my answer to that. Yeah. I think they should. But if we're looking now in terms of what people are waiting for, I think Z6III definitely needs to be there. I personally think Nikon should address the X market. But realistically speaking, their market is full frame. You know, from what they've done in the past, they kind of try to get you toward their full frame range. But I think they should do it. Really. It's, you know, a lot of people would appreciate it. There is a dedicated community that really wants that Z500 or Z90, as it's been rumored to be, you know. So yes, I personally think, you know, even you mentioning it here, that means that there are people who still want this camera. Nick Harrison is replying to Tony, and he says, Nikon Z cameras are the best cameras I have used and the best for low light, extremely good, but I still use my SB5000 for certain situations, for events photography, for example. Absolutely agree with that. You still need a flash in your life. Nikon flashes are still available, and there's now third-party flashes available like GoPro. Oh my God. Okay, so one is Nissin, another one is something Pro. Put it in the chat. Just, you know, completely blanked my mind, but I'm sure. Profoto, that's the word I'm looking for. Okay. Fellow says, hi everyone, a week or so I went to your store, but didn't see you or Becky. But there was a gentleman from Brazil who greeted me and my friend. Great customer service. Thank you, Fal. Becky is no longer at Grace. We're trying to do things together for the channel, but that's all depends on our both schedules. So sometimes we do things, let's say, sometimes we film on Saturdays because we have different schedules, things like this. I generally in the shop a couple of days a week. It's normally Wednesdays, Fridays. So if you want to come say hello, definitely do those on those days, or Mondays as well. So it's just the way it is. So, you know, I am doing different things here and there. I am not in the shop all the time. But yes, Brazilian gentleman, half Brazilian, half English. His name is Daniel Cruz, and he is an amazing chap. So definitely come and say hello to them. We've got 2 Daniels now, so say hello to both of them. We have Steve, we have Lila and Chengi as well, the incredible team of people that will help you. Anytime if they can't help you, then they'll ask a person who can answer your question. So that's the thing. But yeah, if you want to come and see me, definitely it's worth dropping us an email, you know, so at least we can tell you, you know, I can say like, I'm going to be on this date, yada, yada, yada. So that's what it is. Steve Paul Barnes says, I have the newer grip for ZF and I think it looks better. And the others, as it's just comfortable and small rig, it has been red strip. Yeah, so the reason why I don't like newer grip is because of that red strip. You know, not my style thing, but everyone is different. That's the thing. So as long as they do the job that you want, I think it's quite usable. I generally use my camera without the grip, but the reason why I use those is because we're filming on my camera. So it's always good to have an arc Swiss attachment, so I can just slide it onto my tripod when necessary, and then yeah, just shoot this way. But any large lenses would go with the grip. Any small lenses like this would I would mount it without the grip. Let's see what else is here. So if I missed anyone, you can just put QQQ in front of the question. That generally kind of I can clearly see it. Oh, you know what? Where's my coffee? My coffee is getting cold, so let me just have a sip on that, and I'll quickly look at your question. So again, give us a like and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, we'd really appreciate it. It helps us. You get all the updates whenever we publish. Okay, let's see what's next. There's a whole discussion of flash. Well, you know, if you're shooting events, you know, then you really need to have flash. That's as simple as that. If you don't do that, then current cameras do really, really well without people using flash. But if you like to set up the light, I mean, even like outdoors as a fill-in, it could be quite fun, you know. So it is always useful. I personally recommend that. Eventually, is one of the accessories I would always buy, maybe not used as often as I should really. I would buy a flash, you know, so that's the thing. And it's always useful, let's say if you do a bit of eBay or something like this, you need to quickly photograph something, you know, you'll get much better images. Thank you very much, Brian. He says, keep up the good work. I'll pop by soon to pick your brain on scanning on this old Nikon Coolscan 8000 my friend has. Yes, Brian, definitely. Gray mentioned that to me. And I've got Coolscan 9000. So I'm gonna read up on Coolscan 8000. If it's to do with the connection and connecting to the latest, let's say MacBook or something like this, for this I might need to do a bit of research. But even Coolscan 9000, I had to go through the hoops to connect it to my MacBook, you know. So if it's this way, then, you know, I'm sure we can troubleshoot it. If it's to do with the way to scan things, yada yada yada, that's absolutely no problem. Coolscan 8000 and Coolscan 9000 are quite different. I think there's just a few hardware updates there to bring it to the kind of more modern connection. I think they switched from PCIe and FireWire to something else, but that's what it is. Definitely looking forward to see you, Brian. Mike, one of our viewers, was recently downstairs trading his S6 II, so I'm going to mention him because he came say hello as well. We had someone else the other day as well. Let me just remember who was there. If I remember, it was RBJ Photography from United States. He's a friend of Ryan Troy. It was good to see you on Wednesday. Thanks for stopping by. We've got people coming from all over the world. That's really, really nice to meet you all. Hello, Olaf. Hello, Kalyan. Hello, Patrick. Hello, Andy. Hi, Andy. I haven't seen you for a while. That's good to see you. Hello, David as well. Good to see you, man. So let's see what's in the chat. PCB way makes 3D printed metal. Yeah, that's cool. Question is how much. I want 3D print metal at home. That would be amazing. That would be absolutely amazing. Again, I had this idea to talk about with you about 3D printing for photography, but I have a feeling that it's not going to go so well. It's not going to be much of an interest to you guys. But if you think we should do one of those, we can potentially do this. Con. So Kalyan is asking, Con, what's the chance of Nikon going to Canon with a 2870 f2 zoom? I don't know. If they would do it, that would be cool. Again, they have 2.8 now. They have 2875. They get 2470 2.8. Who knows? They surprise us with 28-400 lens. Maybe they will release 2870 f2. You never know. I personally expect someone like Sigma or Tamron go into that space, but it is what it is. Hello, Will. Yes, no, Becky. Yeah, it's been for a while. It's been since about New Year now like this, but thanks for joining us again. I hope you like the solo one, and the guests, it's not going to be the same, unfortunately, So we're trying to build it up, and we try to deal with the cards we have. So Becky is always welcome. If she's free on Friday, she will definitely pop up and say hello. And we do film videos together as well, sometimes on Zoom, sometimes in person. So in person, we've recently filmed the 2875 Tamron review, as well as Z28-400 lens reviews. So those are now in post-production stage. So that was with me and Becky. I will be reviewing this 56mm wheel tracks very soon. We also have TT Artisan 56mm 1.8 coming in as well for review. That would be cool as well. So for some of you who are shooting Nikon ZDX, there are so many lenses available right now, not from Nikon, but from a lot of other manufacturers, and they're unbeatable for the price. $150 for the autofocus lens with the metal mount. It's a good deal, in my opinion. David wants to hear from some photojournalists. I think they're the best of the best. David, do you know any photojournalists that you personally know? Do you want to share his contact with me, or ask them to get in touch with me? That would be amazing. With those things, I just unfortunately don't know anyone, so I can try to call. But again, see what it is. But yeah, definitely. If some of you have interesting contacts, share them with me. We can try to make it happen. William is asking, what's your opinion about 28-400? What's the final verdict? It's a very capable lens. It's definitely amazing lens for the money. It's performed surprisingly well on all focal distances. Autofocus is surprisingly good. We tested on Nikon ZF. It performed really, really well. So I can tell you that. I don't have 24-200 right now to do a comparison test. So apparently one second-hand one came in yesterday and it's been sold on the same day. So unfortunately, that one is gone. But as soon as we have another access to 24-200 lens, then I'll try to do a comparison. But advice there is it's a very capable lens for the money. It's not light. It's fairly small for the size. If you don't mind the bulk of your camera with this lens attached, I think it's about 750 grams. So plus add the weight of your camera is probably another 700 grams. So if you don't mind to carry about 1.5 kilos in your bag on a daily basis and shoot with it, then it is a perfect lens, and optically it's surprisingly good. So I'm pleasantly surprised how good it is, because with all those lenses all around us, they genuinely they do everything, but they're masters of none, if you see what I mean. So again, f4 to f8, again, another thing that you kind of need to think of. It's not going to give you amazing 1.8 shallow depth of field. However, at 400 zoomed in at f8, the background is pleasantly blurred and separated from the subject. So again, it depends on which focal distance you shoot. Champagne Sumi is asking if you should buy another Z9. Yes, I think you should. Absolutely. Nice and simple question, nice and simple answer. Z9s are selling really, really well. That's what I was looking the other day, and we all said, oh, Z8 comes out, Z9 is not going to sell anything. It does sell really, really well. Still, people buy it, so there is enough difference for people to justify a purchase of top-of-the-range professional camera compared to the one under it, which is Nikon Z8. Bazuli Ali, apologies for butchering your name. What are your thoughts on the Nikon D750D in 2024? It's a bargain in second-hand department. 24 megapixels is still here. It's still a modern kind of standard, so low light performance fairly well. Autofocus performance is okay for the camera, so I would say for the money it's a bargain. I would take it over D600, if you see what I mean. So but if you're looking at a really kind of bargain, have a look at D600, D610. Make sure that they've been serviced by Nikon under recall of the shutter, the dusty shutter replacement, so keep in mind on that. Let's see, Ian White is asking, the best place for photo printing looking for bigger sizes. I use this place in London called the Print Space. They're very good. I've been using them since my student days, so I've been using them for the last 15, 17 years, talking about loyalty. They're near Old Street, so here it is. I'm sure there are probably some other place. I mean, Metro Imaging in London is considered to be one of those places. It's, you know, if you've got the budget, they will produce the probably the most amazing results. But for me being a poor student at the time, and even now, I think the value for money, it's really good with the Print Space. Let's see. Photo printing, yeah, not 3D printing. That's good. Gray is going to be in the live streams once a month. That's our schedule for that. We'll continue the history of Nikon Champagne Sumo all the way to the top, but we also have some different ideas that we're going to work on. So we already have a little roadmap of what we want to do. So yeah, definitely. I'm very glad that Gray is a part of the channel. He is the most knowledgeable Nikon person I know, and I always learn new things from him while chatting with him, you know, on the live streams with you, well, and on a daily basis, of course. The man's full of wisdom. Okay, thank you, Fel. I appreciate you as well. You know, it's always nice to hear good words, you know, so that's the thing. As you know, the way the YouTube works is it kind of highlights all the negativity in the comments, you know, so that's the thing. So it's always nice to hear, you know, some appreciative comments. You know, it always makes our days. Okay, Joe Vlogs is saying, QQQ, my D800 CF and SD slots are busted. I'm devastated. It's worth fixing 2024. If you're in UK, Joe, get in touch with Fixation. There is a chance that they are no longer serviceable, but I would speak to Fixation. They should give you a much quicker idea. I think, to be honest with you, they're not replacing those anymore, but I could be wrong. So speak to them. You can also get in touch with Nikon Technical Support. That you can do through their Nikon website. From another point of view, I would say that the cost of replacing those memory card slots, because they replace the whole unit. They're not just replacing, oh, we just replace CF card slot, you know, because of band pin. No, they replace the whole unit. So the cost of that nowadays is probably going to be more than buying a second-hand D800 on eBay, you know, or even with us with a warranty. So, so think about that, you know. So it is a shame, because that's the problem with electronic devices. Yeah, there's a point, at some point, they go to landfill because things break and there's no longer service support. Nikon tends to post their camera for quite long, but let me just see D800 release dates. D800 came out in February, 6th of February 2012, so we are in 2024, so it's been 12 years from now. So, so yeah, I assume they're no longer supporting this camera. So for some of you who are looking at support of their cameras, Nikon said that they're going to support DSLR till 2025, and I assume that's the stuff that's still in production, like D780 and D850. But I assume that even if they stop the production in 2025, we will still see some support to a certain amount of years, so at least till 2030. Yeonjun Chan is saying hello from Korea. We said 2 weeks ago. Yes, I want to mention you. Thanks very much for stopping by. Yeah, anytime you have business meeting in London, come and say hello. We'll be happy to see you. All right, so let's see. Champagne Sumo says, is anyone adapted Leica lenses to ZA and Z9? I've adapted Leica lenses to Nikon ZF. They perform the same way as they would perform on Z8 and Z9. You just buy a nice adapter, you mount it on, it's ready to go, you know. So, but as I said, there's a difference the way they perform on non-Leica cameras. Some lenses perform better, some lenses, well, none of them perform better than on native Leica, but some of them perform worse, and some of them perform, let's say, more or less the same as they perform on Leica camera. And that's to do with, again, I think it's with a glass at the front of the sensor. On Nikon, Sony, Canon cameras, it's slightly thicker than on Leica. So there's a company called, I think, Kalari Vision that does replacement for those cameras. So if you want to do that, it's not cheap, but it's possible to do. There's a thing, if you go to Fred Miranda, forums and you look at the Leica and alternative gear section, there's a whole thread on Nikon ZF with adapted lenses. A lot of them are Leica lenses. You can also, there's a whole discussion on like different sensor stacks and things like this. So have a look at that. I haven't kind of, I didn't dive too deep into that, but it gets deeper than the way I explained. I kind of simplified it quite a bit, but I'm sure that some of you can explain it better in the chat. Let's see. Yeah, Don McCullen would be absolutely amazing. It's someone that would be on my bucket list. Unfortunately, I don't have David connect to Don, but again, I'll ask Gray, see if we can make it happen. I mean, that would be a highlight of my just career, so full stop. If I managed to meet Don McCullen, he's a legend. Champagne Summer has contacted with professional wrestlers. If your professional wrestler is a photographer, definitely let me know. Definitely let me know. I would love to do that at some point. Okay, Russell is asking a question. Getting my first F6 delivered today. Does this mean I'll never use my F5 and F100 again? Russell, congratulations. You literally bought it probably on time. Kai's video came out about Nikon F6, so you expect the prices to go up on Nikon F6. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. Kai is not Kardashian, so it's not going to be Contax T2 situation, but still, when the popular YouTubers publish those things, it brings a lot of people to the market for that specific camera. But Nikon F6 is probably the ultimate Nikon film camera. I love my Nikon F100. I'll stick to my Nikon F100. I personally think that it's very underrated camera, and if you want a modern performance on a budget, Nikon F100 is the way to go, really. So that was my first Nikon ever. So that's my thinking about it. But yes, F6 is the ultimate if you want to, I think I will eventually end up getting one, an Asian one to my collection, just kind of for the memories more than anything else. But I personally think that, yeah, if you're on a budget, go F100. If you want ultimate Nikon F film camera, F6 is where it's at for sure. Okay, let's see. What are we doing? Andy suggests, he says the print space is great. Yep, I absolutely agree. But yeah, that's the thing. Like master printer is different. Master printer is different. If you print from film, there's people who just do darkroom printing, etc., etc. But really depends how deep you want to go with that. There is a good service. There's a good service quality for the. Okay, they're cheap services. Where the price is the most important thing and the quality is not great. There's amazing value for money and the quality that you get, and that's what I think print space is. I haven't looked to other places. Maybe there are places that do it better and cheaper. And then there's ultimate quality, no expense. So if money is no object, you go there. That's the thing. There are different levels where you want to be. I'm happy with the print space on for my prints. I hang them at home. So that's my opinion about this. So Syncryptic says, hey Con, what are your thoughts on the two macro lenses Nikon offers looking to get into? Well, you got 60 and 105 for that mount, both incredibly good. Again, 105 is probably going to be more universal for people, but I used to I don't shoot macro lenses, but I had 60 f-mount for my kind of product photography. I had a job photographing some watches back in the day and some jewelry. I use 60 for that. I do enjoy that 60mm lens. So 50 macro lens probably would perform really, really well. Both are very sharp lenses. I'd recommend them. All right, let's see. I'm a little bit behind the chart. Let's see if you can find it. All right. Okay, some people say for 10 p.m. accessory plug. I guess it's a PC sync connector with a straight cable relief. Nikon cable falls the bracket on the. Sorry, Paul. If you can just, Paul Higginson, if you can just rewrite your question, so I quite can't get it. If it's a 10-pin socket, then we do sell it. So if you give shop a call, we have those 10-pin socket covers. They're available, and a PC sync for the flash socket. Those are little plastic bits that, you can change them to kind of the attached rubber pieces that cover them. But on old cameras, they used to be just the little caps that would fall off eventually. That was the common thing where people would lose. Ian White is asking any advice for someone who is going to do his first studio shoot with a model. Thank you. Ian, you're going to be fine. If you have continuous lights, it's much easier. If you have studio lights, I would recommend to check to set up your lighting more or less before the shoot, so you know what to expect. You can get a dummy head if you want to. You can just put this object in the middle and just learn it. But overall, I would say don't worry, just get on with this. And communication with the model is very important. So I would say a lot of people forget what communication is. So with the person you're working. So my advice, technical part will come. A lot of the beauty of digital is you can test, you can take shot, even if you don't, let's say, like back in the day, I had a light meter and I had a cable from my studio lights into the light meter. I would take shot and I would see, okay, yeah, that's good. So you got f8 at, let's say, 2/50 of a second sync or 200 of a second, depending on your lights. So all that back in the day. Now you can take shot, see the results. It's overexposed and exposed. You can adjust either the power of your light or exposure settings on your camera. So it's quite straightforward. But yeah, if you my suggestion is you want to get your light more or less to the point where you want to be, just before the shoot. And of course you can play with it. But let's say once you kind of figured out the lighting, then you can adjust the power, etc., and you can add the reflectors. You can put the big polyboards to block off the light in certain situations. And the more you learn, the more you start to get into light modifiers. It's a fun thing. I mean, I miss it sometimes, but the more you do, the better. In this case, practice makes all the difference. Rob Rose says he bought F6 this morning, very excited. Yes, Rob, I think you bought from us, right? So there's a free roll of film coming in. We have this Black Friday deal. If you buy a film camera from Grays or Westminster, you do get a free roll. I think it's Ultra Max 400. So we're going to throw it in. So at least something to get you going. Tony says, I like F100, but I don't like it because it's too much like a DSLR. That's the thing. If you want a modern performance, that's the whole point, modern. If you want it to feel like a DSLR, not maybe Z mirrorless cameras, but DSLR, then it gives you this. It gives you this two controls, the front wheel and back wheel, or main command dial and sub command dial, as they call it in the manual. So it gives you that option. But I would say this. If let's say I'm shooting a model in a studio on my film camera, I will use F100, because I want this autofocus, and I would use the H5 1.4G, and it's gonna look amazing. But if you just buying a film camera to take with you on a trip and take an occasional shot, yes, you can't do better than any FM series cameras or FA, FE, you name it. Those cameras obviously are designed for this. But if you want autofocus on your Nikon film camera, for me personally, F100 is probably the bargain. Or, and I'm talking about build quality, because it's still pro build. It has a great performance overall, frame rate, whatever you need, So there's obviously F80, which is also gives you this double wheel. It's smaller, lighter, a bit more plasticky. And we have David Cruz in the chat, the drunk drawing photographer who shoots on, I think, F70 and 75, I believe, you know, so, you know, and he used them for weddings, and they're absolutely amazing, you know, for that. And if you break one, you just go on eBay and you buy another one for £50. It's incredible. All right. Hello, Randall. He's saying, enjoying the old classic film lenses, which look great on Nikon ZF, Nikon 50mm f1.2, 2.8, and Zeiss 50 f2 macro planar. You know what? I do have that Zeiss 50 f2 macro planar. I don't know if it's the same model, but I do have one. You know what? I need to take it off the shelf, just dust it off, because last time I used it was about 3 years ago. So I remember it was really, really nice, but I just kind of didn't use it after this. So, but great, great reminder, Randall. Okay, so let's see what else is here. So Randall says F100 is amazing. It took me 3 years to finally pull the trigger on getting an F6. Always wanted one. Yes, it's upgrade. F6 is upgrade of F100. Absolutely. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Will Morrison agrees with you. F6 is amazing. Paul's enjoying his F90. Thank you very much, Jim. He is asking, what would be the best, I assume, camera for night photography, no flash, Z8, ZF, or mythical Z6 III? Good question for Matt Irvin. Well, Matt is not here today, I'm afraid. He called sick. But we should do something with Matt. I think, you know, we're going to talk. I'm waiting, you know, I want to do something with Matt and Seth. That would be amazing, but I think we should wait for new Nikon release on this. So, you know, maybe when Z6 III comes out, I think it's going to be good conversation. But if you're looking for the best low light performer now, you've got Nikon ZF, Nikon Z6 II. Those are amazing. And then, yeah, you can get 45 megapixel sensor of Nikon Z8 or Z9, you know, so, but I personally think, yeah, Z6 II, ZF are fantastic in low light. Again, software nowadays do wonders with noise, so overall, you know, it will give you a nice image. Obviously, dynamic range suffers depending on the sensor you have, but again, I would say 24 megapixel where it's at right now. Oh, David is asking, what's the biggest difference between F100 and F6? Good question. Good question. I don't. Well, autofocus should be faster. I think I haven't used F6 as much to fully remember. Does it support E-type lenses? I don't think. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I think frame rate is different. Overall, F6 was supposed to be like kind of a evolution. Is a sandwich between F100 and F5, if you see what I mean. But you get all the performance of F5 in terms of focusing speed, frame rate, yada, yada, yada. I think it's slightly better light meter as well, but in a smaller package. You know, it's slightly bigger than the F100, but, you know, not too big. So that's what it is. There's some sort of data imprint things you can look into as well. So there's lots of functionality. But to be honest with you, that's the thing. I haven't played with F6 as much. I haven't shot with it for, let's say, more than a couple of days in my hands. So, you know, I tried it. It's fine. For my type of photography, I don't think it makes a lot of difference, but it is an ultimate camera because it is the last camera they ever made, you know, as simple as that. But yeah, it is basically gives you the smoothest and the fastest performance of them all. You can't change the prisms though, if you're into that. Again, I don't know how many people change prism nowadays on their film cameras. That's the thing. But those options are available if you're looking at F5 route, let's say, or F4. Thank you very much, Champagne. I appreciate it. My coffee is getting cold. Joe Vlog is asking, Nikon make microscopes, but only 1:1 macro lenses. Will they ever go the way the Nikon, the Canon spits all over with 2:1 great mark? I have no idea, Joe, I'm afraid. I wish I could answer this, but we all have our limits, I'm afraid. I personally would like them to release the 200 f4 lens, yeah, macro. That would be nice. You can buy extension rings. Company Kenko does that macro extension rings, which you can attach to any lens, including the Nikon lenses. So I guess if you need a higher magnification, that could be an option. Unfortunately, my microscopes and whole macro launch is not great. So, to the best possible. I will drop Becky a line, see if she can come up with something on this. Nightbringer1 is asking, what do you shoot when it's wet and rainy and cold like snow in England? That's tough laugh, isn't it? So that's the thing. It's basically all the time. I used to do a lot of wildlife, but I just don't have it in me to be out of the crap weather. Well, sometimes when you can only shoot on one specific day, like let's say me and Becky are shooting, and it's raining, well, it sucks. That's all I can tell you. But we still, put our brave pants on and we go and shoot. So overall, you can do different things, but if you can make yourself available for some indoor shooting, then there's all lots of subjects you can shoot indoors. So that could be useful as well. But yes, a lot of people shooting outdoors in the bad weather. Obviously, keep an eye on making your equipment wet. So Turner is asking what I think about Nikon 1 series cameras. I pretend they don't exist. Would be interesting in Nikon history, a similar unique Nikon products video. From my research, Nikon 1 video is not going to do well. But my personal opinion was that Nikon was wrong releasing this Nikon 1 system. This is my personal opinion, just like personal. Doesn't, so. My first thing when Nikon 1 came out, I said it's 2.7 crop. There is no photographer in their right mind, and I'm wrong, of course, will use this camera for professional purposes. And I know that some photographers use that for wildlife, where they mount Nikon f-mount glass, let's say something like 600mm with 2.7 crop, and they will take amazing shots. But for me, it didn't do anything. I didn't like it. So that's the thing. But it's sold really, really well in Asia. So there's a lot of dedicated sports and wildlife photographers who bought this, but I don't think they bought it on a level to justify the... well, I would say it's not a legendary line of things. There's a reason why Nikon forgot about it real quick. I mean, we have products like Nikon 1, we have Key Mission 360, things like this. That's Nikon released. But again, that's a controversial opinion. You may not agree with me, and that's totally fine. That's the thing. What I say here is my personal opinion about this. I like some things, I don't like some things, and that's the thing. We kind of need to get those things from the point of where I'm standing. That's the thing. I'm not everyone's man when I do this. Let's say if I don't know macro, I don't know macro, as simple as that. All I can do is share my own experience with this equipment and my own thoughts. That's the thing. I'm sure that, maybe some other channel can do that, but neither me nor Becky shot with Nikon 1. Did Steve have it? Maybe I'm going to check with my colleague Steve if he used Nikon 1 back in the day. Maybe he will do the video for that. Who knows, Champagne Sumo is asking, D500 is a good camera to buy used. It is. It is an amazing camera. If you like a sports wildlife DSLR, D500 is the last DX flagship DSLR they ever made. I have quite a few customers who said that I'm just too old to learn all the Nikon Z mirrorless things. They look too complicated. I'll just stick with my D500. If one breaks, I'll just buy another one. So she has two at the moment, and she's thinking of getting another one in the future as well. So that's what it is. So yeah, I would say if you need a DX fast autofocus camera, this is the one to get. Absolutely, built like a tank, incredible, absolutely incredible. Let's see. Thank you very much, Jim. Appreciate it. If you haven't given the stream like, that would be nice to have. So really, really appreciate it. It gives basically. It's all about algorithm. It's the game we have to play, unfortunately. So, it is what it is. So the more likes you give us, the more people this stream will reach. And hopefully they will find a good Nikon content. If they're Nikon users, they will discover our channel and they say, oh, they have 300 videos out, so let's have a look. Maybe there's a question that they, that's already answered in that video. Like, let's say, the video that is very popular is a difference between AI, pre-AI, and AIS lenses. Still performs really well. Shutter count video that we filmed through Potato about 4 years ago, still doing really well. The film simulation for Nikon cameras is doing fantastically. People buying their new Nikon cameras, they knew about Fujifilm simulation, and they finally thinking, oh, there's Nikon ones as well. But, it wasn't part of Nikon marketing, so not many people know about this. So, it is what it is. Yun Jun Chan is asking, is Z105 2.8 worth buying for portrait 70%, close-up 30%? Thank you in advance. If you're a portrait photographer, get a portrait lens. If you're a macro photographer, get a macro. I would say if you... it doesn't mean you can't shoot portraits with macro lenses. I'm coming from portrait photography background. I do think that portrait lenses perform better for portraits than macro lenses. That's the thing. But again, speaking to different people throughout my years working at Grace, some people say 105 is great for portraits, absolutely love it. And some people say, yeah, I use 105 just for, close-up work. I do have my portrait lenses. So I would say try for yourself. That's probably the best solution for this one. It's kind of a different, the answer will differ on the person you ask on this one. The drunk wedding photographer David says f6 and f75 and 75 in US backup is all you need for film. I agree, but sometimes you want to have fancy manual focus cameras. And that's why Nikon FM, I think, takes the crown, absolutely. Patrick says, Z105 macro lens is the sharpest Nikon lens he ever owned. I absolutely agree. It's incredibly sharp lens. It's amazing what they can do now with the technology. Let's go further down. Oh my, what are we doing on time? Oh, it's 3:12. Nice. All right, I'm gonna speed through now so we don't stay for too long. Let's see. So Mark Brigden is saying, back in 1983, I took Nikon FM2N with AS 20mm 35, 105, and 180 to Canada show and ice climbing Mount Athabasca. Okay, fantastic combination. My biggest regret is selling this. Here you go. That's the thing. I actually had a chat with one of our viewers. He's from Slovakia. We had a chat about 28-400 for hiking. And he said that he actually switched to 18-140 and DX camera because he says that, look, anything over kilo in weights, basically after long kind of, day in the mountains starts to add up and you start to feel it. So like, what he was saying is that, yeah, maybe 28-400 for his hiking at least, not suitable. So he actually downsized to GX, and he says, I do print large, and the image quality is still fantastic, and lots of details in there. So that's the thing. So if you're in a hike, if you're hiking nowadays, you can do those. Or yeah, there's something like DF with a 28 and 40 mil. I think you could potentially do with a maybe 85 1.8 lens and something on the longer end, and that should do the job. Or 24-200, as long as you don't need wide aperture. Again, if you're hiking, maybe you're staying overnight and you want to do some, let's say, star photography, astrophotography and things like this, then you probably want to get some wide angle, wide open lens like 21.8 or something like this. All right, let's see. I'll try to answer as many questions as I can. So let's see. What do you think of the Nikon 200-500? I really do want one, but they are just bunk breaking. Well, they're much cheaper nowadays than they used to be. As long as you don't mind the weight, they're good performance. We have this good video on 200-500 versus 152-600 Sigma. Have a look at it on our channel, see our thoughts. Again, as long as you don't mind the chunk, they all perform quite well. Thank you very much, Yun Jun. Appreciate it. If you had to guess, how much longer do you think Nikon will keep doing maintenance for f6? They've discontinued it for quite some time now, so I think maybe another couple of years or something like this. So again, it is such a shame, but my hope is that Nikon will stick with f6 for the reputation reasons more than anything else. I think sometimes you do things not for profit, but just for kind of goodwill. So my hope that that's going to continue. So as far as I know, they're still serviceable right now. All right. It's not buffering actually, Joe. I'm surprised as well. It seems like internet fixed itself. That's, so it was good for me to talk to our IT people. So they cleared the blockage. All right, Felam says, he's doing video at 1.2, and no, I tried and I had problems focusing. I need to learn doing video properly. If you're photographing a still subject, so not a live subject, let's say that. The subject that is not breathing, you should be fine once you pin your focus down. Anything moving, anything breathing, you will get like let's say you focus on the eyes and then, you know, like even I'm talking now, I'm moving. Even let's say 2.8, that's quite a bit, if you see what I mean. So generally, for creative type of videography, yes. For, let's say, run and gun, guerrilla style documentary shooting, definitely, and no. But again, yeah, it's one of the things when you need to get at creative shots, your main footage, that might work quite well. But again, autofocus 51.2 Z lens is probably the Canon 50s in my opinion. Autofocus performs really well on a capable camera. I'd still would stop it down to maybe f2. You know, so just to be on the safe side, you can potentially want to play a little bit with the way the focusing adjusting, you know, on your camera. Again, you want to shoot, if you're shooting this, you want to use Z8, Z9, or ZF if you want to maintain autofocus for video. They will perform better than, let's say, other cameras in Nikon Z lineup. Well, let's hope for another 10 years for Nikon F6 support. I agree. So with Moldan Knight, again, sorry for butchering your name. And I'm gone. Can you hear me okay, though? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. It's a good time for exit, isn't it? All right, something's coming. Can you see me? Can you see me? Can you see me? That's it. It's like, shall we talk film? And then I just disconnect because I know that people say, I've been shooting since 1921 and I hate film with passion. I feel you. I feel you. We all been there. No, I haven't been born back then, but you know, we always love to shoot film. Thank you very much, everyone. I think that's a wrap, actually. That's a good time to wrap up. If you have any suggestions, do let me know in the comments below. Thank you, everyone, for staying here. I hope you're going to have a wonderful weekend. For some of us in UK, it's going to be a long bank holiday weekend. I hope you're going to do. I hope you're going to do good. I hope you're going to have nice weather. I'm going to go to the seaside somewhere. Well, not Brighton, but somewhere nearby. So I'm going to take my dog out. We're going to have a nice, beautiful hike somewhere. Well, I hope you too. You know, do something fun, take some pictures, shoot film, shoot digital, and be kind to each other. We will see you next week. Thank you very much. Goodbye.